Reality leaves a lot to the imagination. Count your age by friends, not years. Count your life by smiles, not tears. All we are saying is give peace a chance. A dream you dream alone is only a dream. A dream you dream together is reality. As usual, there is a great woman behind every idiot. The more I see, the less I know for sure. Love is the flower you've got to let grow. Life is what happens while you are busy making other plans. Time you enjoy wasting, was not wasted. Part of me suspects that I'm a loser, and the other part of me thinks I'm God Almighty. Love is the answer, and you know that for sure. Love is a flower, you've got to let it grow. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us. And the world will live as one. You don't need anybody to tell you who you are or what you are. You are what you are. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. If being an egomaniac means I believe in what I do and in my art or music, then in that respect you can call me that. I believe in what I do, and I'll say it. My role in society, or any artist's or poet's role, is to try and express what we all feel. Love is like a precious plant. You can't just accept it and leave it in the cupboard or just think it's going to get on by itself. You've got to keep on watering it. You've got to really look after it and nurture it. It matters not who you love, where you love, why you love, when you love or how you love, it matters only that you love. Love is a promise, love is a souvenir, once given never forgotten, never let it disappear. We live in a world where we have to hide to make love, while violence is practiced in broad daylight. When you do something noble and beautiful and nobody noticed, do not be sad. For the sun every morning is a beautiful spectacle and yet most of the audience still sleeps. Turn off your mind, relax, and float downstream. There are two basic motivating forces, fear and love. When we are afraid, we pull back from life. When we are in love, we open to all that life has to offer with passion, excitement, and acceptance. I believe in everything until it's disproved. So I believe in fairies, the myths, dragons. It all exists, even if it's in your mind. Who's to say that dreams and nightmares aren't as real as the here and now? Being honest may not get you a lot of friends, but it'll always get you the right ones. The thing the 60s did was to show us the possibilities and the responsibility that we all had. It wasn't the answer. It just gave us a glimpse of the possibility. It doesn't matter how long my hair is or what color my skin is or whether I'm a woman or a man. We're more popular than Jesus now. Jesus was alright, but his disciples were thick and ordinary. It's them twisting it that ruins it for me. You are born in pain. Pain is what we are in most of the time, and I think that the bigger the pain, the more God you look for. I don't want to die, and I don't want to be hurt physically, but if they blow the world up, we're all out of our pain then, forget it, no more problems. You can't just keep quiet about anything that's going on in the world unless you're a monk. Sorry, monks. My defenses were so great. The cocky rock and roll hero who knows all the answers was actually a terrified guy who didn't know how to cry. Simple. I don't want to grow up, but I'm sick of not growing up. I'll find a different way of not growing up. A mistake is only an error, it becomes a mistake when you fail to correct it. That was a great period. We were like kings of the jungle then, and we were very close to the Stones. I spent a lot of time with them, and it was great. I've withdrawn many times. Part of me is a monk, and part a performing flea. The fear in the music business is that you don't exist if you're not at Xenon with Andy Warhol. You don't have to be a star to get a cheese sandwich. You just have to be first. I used to be cruel to women, and physically any woman. I was a hitter. I couldn't express myself and I hit. I fought men and I hit women. That is why I am always on about peace. When you're drowning you don't think, I would be incredibly pleased if someone would notice I'm drowning and come and rescue me. You just scream. It looks like I'm going to be 40 and life begins at 40, so they promise. And I believe it, too. Paul McCartney and I made a deal when we were 15. There was never a legal deal between us, just a deal we made when we decided to write together that we put both our names on it, no matter what. There is no denying that we are still living in the capitalist world. I think that in order to survive and to change the world, you have to take care of yourself first. You have to survive yourself. We're not Beatles to each other, you know. It's a joke to us. If we're going out the door of the hotel, we say, right. Beatle John. Beatle George now. Come on, let's go. We don't put on a false front or anything. We were 4 guys. I met Paul, and said, "You want to join me band?" Then George joined and then Ringo joined. We were just a band that made it very, very big, that's all. Our best work was never recorded. That's why we never improved as musicians, we killed ourselves then to make it. But it's my music with my band when it's me singing it, and it's Paul's music with his band. Sometimes it's heavy, you know. When we write them together, they're together. That is one of the main reasons the Beatles ended. I can't speak for George, but I pretty damn well know we got fed up of being sidemen for Paul. I meant it, it's real, the lyric is as good now as it was then. It's no different. And it makes me feel secure to know that I was that sensible, or whatever not sensible, aware of myself. It was just me singing help and I meant it. We took edge because of what the Beatles and others were doing to us. But we got out of it. I couldn't think of the next few years, it's abysmal thinking of how many years there are to go, millions of them. I just play it by the week. Rituals are important. Nowadays it's hip not to be married. I'm not interested in being hip. I hope we're a nice old couple living off the coast of Ireland or something like that, looking at our scrapbook of madness. It's quite possible to do anything, but not to put it on the liters and the parking meters. Don't expect Jimmy Carter or Ronald Reagan or John Lennon or Yoko Ono or Bob Dylan or Jesus Christ to come and do it for you. You have to do it yourself. I'd always felt guilty that I made money, so I had to give it away or lose it. I don't mean I was a hypocrite. When I believe right down to the roots. I write songs because that's the thing I chose to do. And I can't help writing them, that's a fact. Sometimes I felt as though you work to justify your existence, but you don't, you work to exist, and vice versa, and that's it, really. I'm not going to change the way I look or the way I feel to conform to anything. I've always been a freak. So I've been a freak all my life and I have to live with that, you know. I'm one of those people. Nobody controls me. I'm uncontrollable. The only one who controls me is me, and that's just barely possible. If I can't have a fight with my best friend, I don't know who I can have a fight with. I've got used to the fact, just about, that whatever I do is going to be compared to the other Beatles. If I took up ballet dancing, my ballet dancing would be compared with Paul's bowling. If someone thinks that peace and love are just a cliché that must have been left behind in the 60s, that's a problem. Peace and love are eternal. I'm not afraid of death because I don't believe in it. It's just getting out of one car, and into another. I could still be forgotten when I'm dead. I don't really care what happens when I'm dead.